Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Good afternoon, good evening everybody. Militiaman and Crew, once again, we're just going to jump into some articles that everybody can find on patreon.com, mmandcrew, /MM and Crew. So come on in and check it out. This one's called Establishment of the Commercial Arbitration Center in Iraq. Why is this one kind of important? Well, the Federation of Iraqi Chambers of Commerce has organized a final conference of the Commercial Arbitration Development Program for Iraq. Well, basically what the impact is going to be is in supporting the construction and reconstruction processes the country seeks. Okay, the ambassador of the United States was involved, Alina Romanowski. She's in communication, the United States Agency for International Development, the USAID in Iraq. Alice Johnson, she's a representative, so they were talking about it. So ultimately, these agencies are working for Iraq because they're going to do what? They're going to have reconstruction and construction. So that means businesses are going to need the ability to have, if they have disputes, have an arbitration. Normal behavior in the world, and it's a good thing. It brings a little confidence. It makes ease to the investors, etc., when they have a problem. And so it says, as Iraq is about to rejoin the World Trade Organization, which is the WTO, this project comes as one of the achievements within the file of Iraq's accession to the Federation of World Chambers of Commerce and International Chamber of Commerce as well. So Iraq is about to rejoin the World Trade Organization, according to this, and this was today. So this guy, Falah Al-Shabouri, director of the Entrepreneurship Center in the Federation of Iraqi Chambers of Commerce, he says, Iraq is coming to investments and large international trade cooperation, which means better enhancing the economic capacity of the country and to ensure transparency and integrity in business for companies and foreign investors in Iraq, and to resolve commercial disputes between the two sides. I mean, that's pretty big. I think everybody should realize that when these entities talk, it's big. It's not a joke. So the protections and equalization for all investors moving forward, they needed to have arbitration to settle disputes when and if ever they surface, right? Harmonizing the ICC, the USAID, and the ICAC, etc., the acronyms are abundant, will help in creating an environment suitable for investors and comfort levels to big investors, especially during the construction and reconstruction of the economy and the country. Here's just another one of the stones to be laid for that foundation. I mean, these things are just, that's what they're doing right now. They're laying stones for giving support that they are working towards internationalism. Iraq is about to partake in. Iraq is moving forward with their infrastructure. The Sustainable Development Plan. The world has effectively laid out this plan in conjunction with Iraq. The World Trade Organization is said by the UN and the UN Assembly meeting report in 2023, we've been over that a million times, to be at the core of it all. But that was most recently. This is what they said just the other day. The World Trade Organization meeting basically says that they are at the core of Iraq's internationalism, and interestingly enough, that includes artificial intelligence. So something that just is becoming more and more prevalent for everybody. So whether we like it or not, you probably would like to keep it in mind as you do your study and your research. But you can see, if you come into patreon.com /MM and Crew, you can see that you can do some search on artificial intelligence, or you can even search just AI. That might not be as good because you have too many things that pop up. But artificial intelligence, just this year alone, you can go back 2 years. I just went back to this year since February, as I mentioned before in our audio and videos. Okay, establishment of the Commercial Arbitration Center is in Iraq. That commercial arbitration came about in the Court of Paris, and the impact of this is supporting, again, the reconstruction and construction process of the country. So everybody keep that in mind, because that's a really important part. I'm not going to go into this one because it's pretty much reiterating the same thing, but it just goes to show that they have what they're going to do. They're bringing in the international world. So the central bank is imposing fines on private banks and money changers. Well, this is interesting because it comes out today when Iraq is going to do what? They're going to be doing some changes. And they've been telling everybody in their country that the dollar auctions are going to cease to exist. And since that's the case, I'm assuming that they're reiterating to the exchange companies, play by the rules, get on the platforms that are necessary, and we can do business. Otherwise, you're going to be fined. And they're referencing the central bank law number 56 of 2004 and the banking law of number 94 of 2004, and basically in giving out instructions to the banking regulators to regulate banking operations. The document explains fines that will be imposed, violations by the banks or non-banking financial institutions for the aforementioned laws, instructions, and controls, with the aim of preventing the commission of such violations in the first place and into the future. And she's pointing out that the main goal of imposing fines is to protect banks and financial institutions to ensure their safety, and well as the safety of the financial sector in general. So basically, they're looking to make sure that their financial system is working, and they've already told us that they're working to not only stabilize the financial system in Iraq, but they're also stabilizing the financial system and of the world. So this guy, his name is Samawa to the force again. I don't know why they put that there, but Al-Yassiri, in quotations, corruption files are in the hands of judiciary, and we warn against pressure. Okay, challenges and opportunities of digital transformation and the artificial intelligence in Iraq. It seems oddball the way that's worded, but the bottom line is that this main focus, I believe, is going to be the challenges of opportunities of digital transformation and artificial intelligence. So they go on to say today the world's witnessing a massive, so it's not just Iraq, but the world is witnessing a massive digital revolution, innovating all aspects of life, including education. Digital transformation in education and artificial intelligence have become a very imperative necessity to keep pace with rapid developments, improve the quality of education, increase interaction and participation, enhance 21st century skills, and provide equal educational opportunities for all. This is a really long read. It's got the obstacles, it's got the solutions, and it also has a conclusion. But some of the things that they're going to be doing is updating the curriculum for the education, okay, including digital content and the skills of education levels, and subject to adopting flexible and diverse educational curricula adapted to the needs and inclinations of the people and abilities of students. Right? Okay, so they're moving forward. It says the basics of artificial intelligence, its applications, and participation in digital learning communities. In addition, school curricula must encourage innovation and creativity using technology, leadership in the field of technology and artificial intelligence, enhance critical analytical thinking, and instill values of responsibility and the ethics in the use of the technology. So all these things that they're talking about here are basically to what? To overcome specific obstacles, okay? Their necessary steps and actions must be taken by all parties concerned with the education, learning, and technology to ensure the ability to use digital tools effectively in the educational processes, and the participation of all parties concerned with education and the cooperation. So they're basically moving forward with artificial intelligence, e-learning, if you will, all of those things and all the technologies that go with it, Iraq has already been involved in them. That's why I said to go back through Patreon, and in the forum you can grab these articles and you can say, wow, they do have a lot of information. Different countries, a lot of countries are on board with this with Iraq. So it's not just Iraq just starting out fresh. It's been an ongoing process. Keep in mind, the sector that is driving artificial intelligence is the semiconductor sector, and we saw that, and we saw the comparisons of the news with that sector, and we're also seeing that in other countries, and it sure looks like Vietnam is one. It's not my study, but there's probably more, okay, because there's a lot of emerging markets that are going to become at the front stage, and Iraq is going to be one of those. I think the WTO has taken Iraq from the LDC, which is the lower development country, to developed, so to speak. So I might have that last bit just a little bit wrong, but you guys can look it up. WTO website, you can sign up for it and you can start reading and learning all about it if you'd like. That's up to you guys. In short, what they're doing is they're going to achieve digital transformation in education. Educational curricula must be reformed to be compatible with the needs of the times, which is today, of course, because things are moving fast, and everything's moving faster and faster and faster as the technology comes in. And they'll provide the necessary infrastructure, develop competencies, and adopt effective technological policies. So that's what they're all working towards. All of these things are basically underway now. There's numerous articles in the forum that we have that show that digitization, digital transformation, artificial intelligence, all of these things are a part of the process. And they're not going away. They're just supporting evidence that just shows that there's been growth, there's been ongoing processes that most people had no idea and never dreamed of long ago, many years ago. So basically the next article I have is called "The Dangerous Sign. The Securities Commission Warns Against Trading in Digital Currencies." Okay, so it sounds like the central banks are going to have a little bit of a, hold on, you guys. In this case, it's Iraq. So it says today, Monday, a member of the Securities Commission's board, which is Iraq, Mr. Al-Taha, warned against trading digital currencies in Iraq, noting that there are about 9,000 currencies in the world. He says basically they should, and there should be, there should be rules to these currencies, and they shouldn't just have the door open for all of them wide open. They just don't believe in that. Some currencies are led by individuals and rise and fall daily, and some of them are destroyed. So they're warning. That's what they're talking about, warning. Here they go on to say that there are more than 9,000 global digital currencies, and we do not know which one of them are approved so far. Therefore, Iraqi youth do not need to deal with them. So they're warning the citizens of Iraq, the youth, be careful, because things might change and you can lose money. And we'll see how that turns out and how that platforms and all that genre work here in the short term, because obviously changes are coming, and they're probably going to weed out the good, the bad, and possibly not the good, but they probably weed out the bad and the ugly. So anyway, Iraq continues to develop oil fields by reclaiming two new wells. I bring this up because why they're bringing this up? They're looking to get self-sufficient as we go forward. So Iraq is looking to bring in as much money as they possibly can with non-oil resources, but they're still going to do some things that are going to be oil related, of course. But in this case, and other cases, we're talking about producing fuel. They spend a lot of money, Iraq does, on gasoline imports, for instance. Okay, they can make that at home. They got the materials to do so, and that's what they're getting ready to do, and they're already underway getting ready to do that, and that's a big deal. And we all know that Iraq has been trying to wean themselves off of Iranian gas. Whether or not they do that in perpetuity and forever, I don't know. But the bottom line is that why spend billions of dollars on importing gasoline and then natural gas for first off automotive use, trucking, whatever it might be, and or the gas for producing electricity at the tune of billions. Why not just produce it yourself instead of gassing it and firing it up in the sky and wasting that money? Why not just put it to use? And that's what they're doing. So this probably has some significant pressures on why it's been hard for the corrupt to wean themselves off that money scheme, that money laundering scheme, if you will, even. Probably more to it than that by far. It says Iraq continues the process of developing oil fields and exploiting and reclaiming oil wells in order to achieve the main goal of increasing production and achieving self-sufficiency in petroleum products in the future. It says these moves come from Baghdad to convert about 40% of their crude exports into oil derivatives in the coming years, ensuring self-sufficiency and a shift towards exports, according to what was reviewed by the Specialized Energy Platform based out of Washington, D.C., or based out of Washington, it just says. They go on to say a few more things. They said it wastes about $5 billion of its resources to meet the need of local markets through importing gasoline and diesel, for which the government allocates about $3.5 billion alone. So they're going to be able to go self-sufficient, and they're saying when they're going to do it. They go on to say that these refineries and the capacity of the oil that they can put out, and they have an aim of stopping importing fuel and achieving self-sufficient, or at least partially, in petroleum products by 2025. And then what? They're going to shift to exporting it. So that's that input-output stuff that they talked about on how dynamic this country is going to be, and it's going to go and show those that understand this that how much money these guys and how wealthy they are, and also about how they can support the value of their currency into the future, because they are going to have a massive amount of income, and it's just phenomenal. Okay, so the plan to develop and reclaim oil wells ensures achieving state goals of increasing production, directing it to refineries, ensuring reaching the stage of self-sufficiency in gasoline, the import of which burdens the state's budget, according to what was reviewed by that Specialized Energy Platform out of Washington. It says Baghdad will reach self-sufficiency during the next year of 2025, thanks to the production of refineries, whether existing or to which new units have been added, with the aim of increasing production. Basically, they're stating that they have some auxiliary material gasoline production equipment in the northern refineries in Baji. It says production operations were dependent on obtaining this material that they needed to get more production, which arrived 2 weeks ago in Baghdad. So they have what they need on the ground, and that was 2 weeks ago, and so they're really on the roll to have sustainable development. Sustainable development is a big thing with the WTO. The big sustainable development is a big thing with the Bank of International Settlements, the IMF, United States Federal Reserve, United States Treasury. Everybody's kind of involved in hoping that they can stabilize the global financial system, Iraq's financial system, and they can bring this country up to par, and with their education, their technology, because the younger citizens, they're going to have that ability to be the human resources that they need to do the development road project. So you guys can see this is like a birth of a new nation all over again. This is no different, well, significantly different probably. But remember the Marshall Plan, Germany, Japan, those plans, Iraq, same plan, pretty much. That's what I'm saying. Global indicators confirm that oil prices will continue to rise at the end of 2025, into the end of 2025. And so right now, the budget, remember, is only at $70. They've been trying to see if they can modify it and kick it up to 80, but so they can spend more money, but I don't think they've been able to do that. But the bottom line is at the moment, oil prices are at 80 plus, and they've they think it's going to keep moving forward for the next year, or the year and a half anyway, through that time frame. It says the Prime Minister Mazhar Mohammed Saleh identified the most important economic gains achieved due to the rise of oil prices, pointing out that the global energy market sources indicate that the current rise in oil prices will continue until the end of the year 2025. He goes on to say that this is a clear link between the rise in revenues from Iraq's exported oil due to the rise in energy prices in global markets on the one hand, and the sustainable ability of financing investment projects whose allocations are estimated in the federal budget law of number 13 of 2023, which is what? The tripartite budget. It says the rise in oil prices above their estimated rates leads to reducing the hypothetical deficit gap in the annual general budget, which is estimated to be approximately 64 trillion dinars, and the hypothetical, remember this, hypothetical deficit, and provides sustainability of spending on development projects. And that's what it provides, sustainability of spending on development projects. Well, if there's a hypothetical deficit of that much, you go, what? Okay, hold on. So stressing that the hypothetical deficit is no longer a reason for faltering or delaying reconstruction projects and expenditures related to investment. That part really got me good, is because a hypothetical deficit is no longer a reason for faltering or delaying the reconstruction project. So that means it's showtime. It's time to go. The government program has prioritized its philosophy and general directions, the policy of the diversifying sources of income in the national economy. And so what is that? Diversifying national economy, self-sufficiency. We went over that just this last article before. It says, he goes on and says, the first time sovereign guarantees are granted to market activities and the private sector as a partner in development, with priority to major economic diversification activities by providing appropriate financing to the private sector from global financial sources in order to finance the transfer of modern technology, especially the manufacturing and petrochemical industries, as well as industries related to the provision of high quality products. So there's a link to reconstruction to ensure stable and high growth rates and provide the requirements for sustainable development and operation. So basically, the global energy market sources indicate that the current oil price will continue to rise until the end of the year 2025. And apparently they're talking about the fact that it's going to be over 82 bucks a barrel, and the budget's at about 70. So ultimately, how I see it is that this is not the first time we see Saleh using the term hypothetical deficit. He would likely know full well that is an honest statement to use, and therefore he did, sounds like. At this level, he would be apprised of why it is a hypothetical one. In other words, the deficit is not necessarily a real or even true one. Since the deficit is a hypothetical, they suggest there is not a need to falter or delay reconstruction projects, as they stated, expenditures or to those expenditures related to investment. So to me, this is a very good indication that Iraq is now ready to expose those expenditures for projects to investment, and to me it's a very good sign. Why? Because they're going to have to expose that. And where is it coming from? It's going to come from that tripartite budget and the investment side. The first half is already coming to an end in a few days, so let's see what happens. Ministerial Council for the Economy approves the national lending strategies. Keep in mind, you guys, the Ministerial Council of Economics became 18 sessions ago, their first, with al-Sudani's presence on the stage as the Prime Minister. And the lineup, you guys, is intense, because you think about it. The Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Chairman of the Ministerial Council of Economy, Faoud Hussein, the Ministerial Council of Economy, basically in the presence of the Deputy Prime Minister, Ministry of Planning, Ministry of Finance, Trade, Agriculture, Labor, Social Affairs, Secretary General of the Council of Ministers, the Governor of the Central Bank, Prime Minister Advisors for Economic and Legal Affairs, the Chairman of the Securities Commission, and the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Oil. All those people were in this meeting, and when they talk, they're the head people for Iraq, you guys. And I pay attention to that because they're the backbone, and they have authority. They have executive authority, from my understanding. And we're going to see these guys push this country into that international realm that they've been talking about. The council discussed the items on the agenda, took necessary decisions regarding them. Okay, so they took decisions, they made them, and approved the Ministries of Transport's request to refer a project to extend a railway between the city of Basra and the Shalamsheh port as far as financial powers are concerned. So they made it an action, and they're taking care of business. It says that the council approved the national lending strategy after the governor of the central bank presented a brief on the strategy and what the bank implemented during previous lending initiatives, deciding to hold a special session in order to discuss all opinions, ideas, and proposals related to maximizing the state's non-oil revenues. So they're going to make nothing but money off these non-oil revenues, and we all know that they're above and beyond taxes and tariffs at the borders. We had an article today that they were talking about Iraq rejoining WTO. Well, I think July 18th, there's more working effort for that time frame for Iraq to have a session. So whether that happens on that day or not, to me, has possibly no relevance, in the sense that it's just progress, and we know that Iraq's going to be going international, and that they're doing these things, all of which I'm talking about tonight, have laid that foundation, that stone. They've been ongoing for years. AI wasn't new. It started 15 years ago. They've been working on this stuff for a long time. And now they've got it to a point where I think they may be using it far more than we've even talked about in my videos, because I've got plenty of data that shows that I may have needed to spend a little more time on that. But hey, now they talk about it again today, so here we are. Maybe it was the perfect timing for me to do so. I think it's a good thing. Okay, it says the UR, which is General Company, affiliated with the Ministry of Industry, purchasing the damaged cables and wires from Ministry of Electricity and all its formations for a price agreed upon between the two parties. So they're going to try and fix things. And they decided to hold special meeting of the Ministerial Council of Economy in Kurdistan region to resolve all outstanding economic problems with participation of all economic formations in the federal government and the regional government. So they're basically getting ready to do what? About ready to start playing ball. So you got the Kurds, and you got the Baghdad, and you have all of those people I highlighted, okay? All of those people in meetings with the Kurds to do what? The participation of economic formations in federal and the regional government. So they're getting ready to do what? Take care of all those outstanding economic problems. And I would imagine the citizens are going to appreciate that. So I would love to know what Al-Alaq's strategies are and what context he was using during these MCOE meetings in this 18th session. It would be nice to also know what proposals they would be using to maximizing those non-oil revenues, especially upcoming the first half of this 2024 year. So obviously, with all these bodies talking about the things, about talking about approvals, talking about holding special sessions, at this time, it's obvious that there's big stuff happening, and it brings confidence to me. Hopefully it brings confidence to you all. And I think, isn't that what the whole thing with Davos was supposed to be about? Bringing confidence to the international financial system. And so I think that's where they're headed. Here's an interesting article too, and this is the last one I'm going to go over, but it's called Tam Keen initiative restores brilliance to old Baghdad. So they're doing somewhat of a renaissance to Baghdad. And what are they trying to do? Well, this Tam Keen was established in 2017 to achieve economic and societal goals of the Central Bank of Iraq, contained in its Law 56, there it is again, of 2004, which included achieving economic stability, promoting sustainable development, and service society. So I just got through saying, this didn't get started. This is evidence. This is 7 years ago they got started on this. Basically what they're saying is this is achieved by supporting societal, economically, humanitarianly, and culturally through initiatives provided by the central bank and banks, supporting bodies to achieve the economic and societal goals at the same time, and to support humanitarian cases of citizens in light of the complex and accumulated critical economic conditions that the country witnessed. So they addressed that they had critical issues, and they've been dealing with that over that period of time, which is quite a while, you guys, so this isn't fresh. The Community Initiatives Fund, Tam Keen, that's what it's called, the Community Initiatives Fund, is financed through monthly contributions from Iraq's private banks, exchange companies, and electronic payment companies. These funds are deposited in an independent account within the Central Bank of Iraq and dispersed through a specialized committee formed in the Association of Banks. There's additional 4 items. They talk about funding since its inception until now has reached more than 1,000 economic, humanitarian, cultural, and heritage projects. So during that 7 years, they've already done 1,000 different things. So at number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it says financing economic development and reconstruction projects. That's what we're seeing now. The financing contributions of the banking sector are a true expression and application of the saying, private sector banks in the service of society. So they're telling you the private banks have stepped up their game, and that is basically a good thing. This article basically, it just sounds like they're picking up speed from the sounds of these meetings of the MCOE, and they're looking to have future meetings in special sessions. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for that. They also talk about the national lending strategy that includes sovereign guarantees. All of this is a very big step in ensuring or assuring investors that are in a safe investment environment, that they are in a safe and investment environment. So to me, all of this little bits and pieces look awesome, and just show that there's a focus for many things to happen, and they're like, I don't know, knocking it dead. So let's see what happens in the next few days, and let's see what happens through the week. I think they have a holiday for tomorrow, and we're going to just watch and watch what they bring us, because they're effectively stating to everybody that they're going international, and they're giving a laundry list of all the things that they've done, are doing, and in support of where they're headed. So thank you for being with me tonight. Please enjoy, and hey, hit that like button, subscribe, and obviously, of course, to keep the place running, it's always nice to know that you guys are in support, and PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle have been crucial in helping us keep the doors open. So thank you very much. Enjoy your evening. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content, subscribe to the channel, or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much, and have a great day.